Michael B., Jandrew, and Father Les Spears met with Barney Barnhart at Chamberlain and made a deal to swap the old church for some property. And all the paperwork got messed up. And it's been done.
Property.
The old church were
Which old church?
the Holy Comforter, the Episcopal Church.
Down here?
Yep. That still belongs to the chapter of Calvary. The paperwork never got done. What happened is the person who was supposed to did the paperwork give the tribe back their land and give the church back the old church. I learned this because of everything that was going on, and I didn't want to really get involved, but I was the senior warden. And so I told Barney, I says, what's going on with it? And he didn't know, so we went up and researched it at Kennebec and found out that that's what they did. And when they did the paperwork, whoever did the paperwork in winter gave the land back to the tribe and the church back to the church, which didn't make sense, but they did. Well, the other problem is the property lines. They give the old church, but the property line was the front door of the rectory, the church house. So they give half the house in trade because nobody went down and measured anything. Nobody did any checking on it. And I called Randy Barnhart and I said, how come you give up half the house? He said, we never did. It was close to the fence line. I said, no, the property stake is dead center in front door of the rectory. Oh my. So they resurveyed it and had it all redone, exchanged equal land for equal land, moved the property line to where the fence line is alongside the house and the old church, straight back, and then they took the same amount of property for the old church on the north side of the Guildhall, which would have been about half of what they originally offered. And that was what was started 2003. Some of the paperwork was filed in 2005 and 2008. I got the paperwork handed to me in 2011 or 12. That stuff, and the whole thing is just trying to juggle the correct property exchange. The reason we built the Guildhall is that they had already said that we had that property. And I go, okay, we built it. Luckily, we did own the land. So we got 5 feet away from the Guildhall was the tribal land. So they changed it so that we'd have parking rights over the Guildhall. And with all I give Cody the actual deeds that the diocese drawn up, and you guys would have to approve them. It's the same deal that started with exchanging the old church, the old Holy Comforter Church, for property just north of the Guildhall. Equal property.
Did you get a chance to review this yet, Randy?
No, I was just looking at the deeds.
And why isn't the BIA involved in this?
I got the original story from Red Olson, and that's how I started finding out some of this stuff. And I go, why is this all messed up? And he said he couldn't tell me. Red Olson.
Talent.
Yeah, he couldn't tell me other than it was messed up. And here I am trying to explain what I know of the situation. Because both people who made the deal are no longer with us. Michael B. and Father Les Spears. They're both left us. And nothing we can do about that. In the agreement, what Randy said was they were to trade equal land for equal land.
Randy Barnhart,
Barnhart from, yeah. He was the accountant for the diocese.
Okay.
And they're the ones that met with Michael in Chamberlain on that. Because at one time they were gonna take and tear the old church down, and Michael didn't want it tore down. He wanted to keep it.
Down here?
Yeah, the old Holy Comforter. This is back in the early 2000s.
This is before they must have decided to make it.
Yeah, they went in and
House.
they busted all the windows out, and that's why they decided they were gonna take the building down.
Oh, we kept it, made it French.
Right, turned it into the Friendship House and that stuff. So we carry insurance on it.
Oh, so you're exchanging that land over there, the old one for the new one?
Yeah, no, this is for the north of we'd already traded for the new property in 92.
Do you want the council to exercise or pass a resolution giving the chair the authority to exercise
Right.
and sign the corrective deed?
Right,
And
yeah.
that's been prepared by an attorney, Stephen
Yeah.
Sanford,
Yep,
right?
Yep,
And you're convinced now at this point that that's correct and accurate?
yes, it is. I was there when they surveyed it. And the survey marks will be on the east fence of the house, right up front. And then north, so many feet, and then over where that dumpster used to sit always, there's another property marker over there.
What's the pleasure of the council on this? Do you need more legal time to read it, Randy, or are you good?
Well, I don't quite understand how much land is being exchanged, but basically, huh?
Right, equals, both pieces are equal in size.
It's feet,
Yeah,
it's actual feet, not acres.
yeah,
Those two previous
45,
deeds.
145.
yeah.
You don't have a problem, Randy? I'll make that into a motion.
What's your feelings, Randy? Want to hold off till you review it?
So you've got this is quote, what we call fee simple land,
Yes.
deeded land within the exterior
Right,
boundaries.
yes.
Where is this place?
It's the old Holy Comforter Church in Lower Brule.
About a block,
It's
block down.
on the backside of the community center.
Right next to the elementary school.
Oh, okay.
It's called the Friendship House now,
It's a
but
Friendship House now, that was our church for years. They built the new church. You know, you want to get into how we got the new church?
Not today.
That's another story.
Brother Cody said, not today.
You know, you can't trust somebody wearing a white collar when he tells you what's going on. You're probably the wrong business, so I'd say go for it.
The sad part about it is that the people that actually did this, made the motion, or did all the exchange, is no longer with us. And they were adamant about making the deal so that we could build the Gill Hall and have property to park on.
okay, got a motion by Cody. Second by Marvin. Any discussion, Donovan? John? Stephanie?
Nope.
Marv? Nope. Cody? Call for the vote, Donovan?
For
John?
Four.
Stephanie?
Four.
Marvin? Four. Motion carries 5-4-0 against the not voting.
the resolution basically would authorize the chair to execute the corrective.
There you go.
With the notary public, it has to, I can't sign it only in front of the notary, so I probably need the original. Ursula has that?
I give the original to Cody.
Uh-oh.
Then she's got it.
No, I'm just kidding.
If you need another original, I can get it.
Okay, if Ursula's got it.
It might be in one of your packets.
We'll find it, I don't know.
And if you don't have, if you can't find it, call me. I can,
Thank you, Father, sorry.
I'm just glad we got this over and done with. And it's been a long time. So that now I'm relieved that we have that all taken care of. And
Thank you, Father.
one of these days I'll be home.
This will give everybody on the council like good heaven points.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. God's loving hands continue to touch you and do your great work.
Thank you very much.
Well, our chairman wants to make a confession.
I've already heard all of them.
He's the only one that's Catholic. Oh, him and John. Oh, Donovan.
Well, Donovan still come to church every once in a while.
Thank you, Father.
And he's been at church also. I can't pick on any of them. Yeah.
Safe travel.
I also, we need to pass that, one for Marlowe.
And her office is,
I'm looking at the bid on the thing, it says PFS, so is that the trailer? Not on the vehicle, but the building. Oh,
I believe that is the trailer, but
yeah, we're doing a couple. Your debit card?
Pat Durkin one.
We're just gonna prove this, or?
Well, is there no other bids? Riverview and Sharp are the only two? Are we supposed to have three?
she explains on that why she only has.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, what was that?
No, it's not her.
says on there that they tried to get the bids. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cause so I was looking at the, you see on Nate Nealon's on the left it says, geez, it's hard to see.
PFS renovation project.
Client, it says PFS renovation project. So that's the only thing, the only building I know PFS owns is our rents is the trailer, so.
So she's asking for a card and she also wants us to approve these renovations.
Yeah, so it'll be two separate.
It's confused there. I know if Cody's confused, I'm confused. Why would you throw a towel in?
Yeah, I've been confused all my life.
Just sit up there with you.
Okay.
Who do we want next?
We gotta pass the resolution here first.
Well, we can vote. I think we got enough for a
Yeah.
quorum here. Entertain a motion to go with, Marlo Londo's, request for which
The vehicle
vehicle?
first, right?
The 29 one or the 31? What is her thing here? But I gotta know if that's, cause there's only two on the vehicle, right?
She says Sharp Automotive.
She said that, no, the third bid for her vehicle was with Lamb Auto, which is usually Grand State bid, but they were not out until mid-October.
I went with Nate Nealon.
Sharp, her, request is to go with Sharp Automotive with the lowest bid.
Does John to say, so move.
We got a motion by, Marvin.
Donovan.
John is our second man.
Second. We got a second by Donovan. Any discussion, Donovan? Stephanie?
No.
Marvin? Cody? Call for the vote. Donovan?
Or,
Stephanie? Marv?
4.
Motion carries 4-4, 1 absent. The second one is approve the recommendation with Nealon Construction coming in with the lowest bid.
72,406.
2,406.
Compared to 104, so yeah, it's a big savings. So entertain a motion for that.
Do some gouging there.
So move.
Got a motion by Marvin, second by Donovan. Any discussion, Donovan?
No.
Stephanie? Marvin? Cody? Call for the vote, Donovan? Stephanie? Marvin?
4.
Motion carries 4-4, 1 absent.
Chairman,
Yes.
I love you guys and I'd like to spend hours and hours and days with you. And today is my 75th birthday and my wife is waiting for me, so.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Randy. Yeah.
See how secretive you are? We don't even know you're B.O.B., man.
Even us what she chewed children matter. Mine was just a long time ago. Can we talk just briefly about NCIC in the appellate court?
Yeah, what the camera's on, is that okay?
I understand that. NCIC just gives the courts and Lower Brule the opportunity to access the National Crime Information Center to obtain criminal histories. There's some very rigid requirements with respect to training and entry of records and access and those kinds of things. Whether you'll be able to go in and modify reports is unlikely, or will you be able to enter reports, I think is unlikely, but at least it gives the courts, if you will, access to the National Crime Information Center. And it's a service that's provided. The training provides training on the software, all of the workstations, FBI training, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's been a priority of the Department of Justice for years and years to get to the point where independent sovereign nations, tribes have access to the National Crime Information Center. And this is an opportunity for Lower Brule to participate in that. And I think it's well worth doing, and I would recommend that you approve the request to allow participation in and to send individuals to training, and it won't cost the tribe anything.
Awesome.
We have to pass a resolution.
Yes.
As John say, so move.
We got a motion by, second by Donovan. Any discussion, Donovan? John?
No.
Stephanie? Marv?
No.
Cody? Call for the vote, Donovan? John? Stephanie? Marv? Cody. Motion carries 5-4-0 against none.
I'm not gonna hang in there very much longer, just letting you know that.
Okay, that's why we're talking fast.
I'm starting to throb,
So this is an important matter.
but we got.
You know, this council has been excellent in terms of honoring separation of powers. That's an important concept in terms of the operation of the government and being an independent sovereign nation, in terms of this court has not injected, or this council has not injected itself into ongoing tribal court matters. But there has to be a remedy for tribal members and litigants who don't agree with a tribal court decision to appeal that decision and have it reviewed by an appellate court. And for years, the Lower Brule had an appellate court. For some reason, over the course of the last 3 to 5 years, that appellate court has dissolved, no longer meets. We can't even contact 2 of the 3 justices that were on it. One of the justices is still practicing, that's Ken Cotton, and apparently we're undecided if he continues to be interested. But my sense is we need to reinvigorate the appellate court to give litigants the opportunity to appeal the decisions of the trial court. If you're aggrieved by a decision of the court, your remedy is not to come to the tribal council. Your remedy is to appeal to a higher court. And so the Constitution and the Law and Order Code already provide for a appellate court. And I think the establishment of a court, judges and other court personnel, Chapter 2 here, courts established, it does specifically provide for an appellate court. So you've already done that, but my sense would be to reinvigorate it, to pass a resolution basically saying you want to reinvigorate the tribal court. It gives litigants an opportunity to have a remedy, really, and it's an essential part of the criminal justice system, whether it's a criminal case or a civil case. It ought to have an opportunity to be reviewed. And I've proposed that the 3 justices on the court be Frank Pommersheim, who's an expert in jurisdiction and Indian law from the University of South Dakota. He's taught Indian law at the law school for 30 to 40 years. He's recently retired. He's willing to serve. He serves in that capacity for several other tribal courts. One of the associate judges would be Mike Swallow. He's currently the chief judge up at Standing Rock. He's a former judge over at Sisseton. He's willing to also serve on a limited capacity on the Lower Brule Appellate Court. And third, I talked to Tewi Mean. She's Russell's daughter. She's a lawyer. She's currently the head of Thunder Valley. She was formerly the OST Attorney General. She ran for South Dakota Attorney General.
I thought she ran for a position in the state before, right?
She ran for school board this last time. In 2018, her and I were both running for the Attorney General, and the Democratic Convention had to decide which candidate. But she is interested. She's a lawyer. She knows Indian law. She's currently the head of Thunder Valley, and I think she'd be a great addition to the Lower Brule Tribal Court. So those are 3 proposed justices to serve on the court. I think that would bring literally hundreds of years of experience in terms of handling these kinds of matters. Mike Swallow was the first native Judge Advocate General for the United States Marine Corps in the history of the Marines. So, and he currently is the chief judge up at Standing Rock and handles child support matters for Sisseton Wahpeton. So, they would meet probably on a quarterly.
Activate that.
Okay.
Got a motion by John.
Second by Cody.
Second.
Cody seconded.
Right, Cody.
They would probably meet quarterly. We'd have to pay them somewhere between $80 and $100 an hour for the time that they spent sitting on the
By
appellate court.
Cody.
But it's good to have that process, it's good to have that process there, though.
Any discussion? Anyone?
No.
Call for the vote, Donovan. John. Stephanie. Marv.
For.
Motion carries 5-4-0 against none not voting. Thank you, Randy.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy
Wish we
birthday.
knew earlier.
What's your birthday today?
Yeah.
Young man, happy birthday, it was my daughter.
Even snuck that by Ursula, huh?
Well, I think we got Jim out there.
Bring in Jim, cause it says World Water Resolution. And I have nothing in my, we have, cameras on, Mr. Russ. We have nothing on, World Water Resolution in here, so.
Well, I got a steering tomorrow,
Yeah.
right?
Remember because of the fit they threw back there last time?
Hi.
Oh, Jim.
That's why.
Yeah.
Jim?
Yeah, but that's kinda,
Yeah,
it's different because it's,
we'll discuss that.
How are you guys today? Mine's, I guess, really quick. What we need is, when we did the winter water project for the water tanks,
Yep.
we approved, I guess, to go ahead with the contract and everything like that kind of through the rural water. Well, I guess all I need is just an approved resolution that says that the tribal, Lbst tribe approves the rural water to do the winter water project.
on those winter,
On the
tanks.
winter tanks,
With an RCS?
yeah.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a grant. It's already kind of approved. The contracts, we did the bid letting, and Kennebec Telephone Company was the lowest bid, so at $234,000. NRCS I think approved a deal for $277,000. So we're actually under, but we can't add on any more sites. So it'll just be, basically end up being for the $234,000. Kennebec says they're gonna put it in, and we'll go with those.
I got it.
Did you get that, Urs?
We thought there was a previous resolution, or you thought there was a previous resolution, we looked, we couldn't find it.
Right, we couldn't find one. I think it was just kind of more when they went through with rural water, saying we passed it through as a rural water.
Okay.
Since it's kind of being not a rural water deal, it's more because it's a tribe. Then we just thought that it would be better to do a tribal resolution.
So move.
Got a motion by John,
Second time.
second by Cody. Any discussion? Anyone?
No.
Call for the vote. Donovan?
For.
John?
Oh.
Marv? Cody? Motion carries 5-4-0 against none, not voting.
Jim,
Thank you, Jim.
Ursula and I, in terms of the language of the resolution,
Yeah.
in terms
Yeah,
of the.
just send me your paperwork and
we-
then I'll draft it up and
Okay, and we did that, and we did send the stuff to, I think you got what Terry sent for kind of where we were at with the packet and stuff.
Yes, yep.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the steering
Hey,
tomorrow,
Jim.
man?
Yep.
Yep, at 10.
Right on.
We'll see you guys.
See ya.
ya.
What did Tim say?
it's being known.
Oh. Did the weed guys still out there?
Do you want to do him?
Still out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's,
Give him 5 minutes. Son, we got five.
gaming's out there,
Gaming?
yeah.
That's out there too.
And Lance,
Hey, everybody wants to
bring-
sell
bring-
dope
bring
or
Lance.
weed
Bring
or
Lance.
hemp or something like that.
Lance.
Oh,
We're gonna bring Lance in first. We made him wait long enough.
Oh, shit, he's still here.
Did you guys look through all that? I did. It's pretty much, it's actually the shortest report, actually, but there's like 5, 6, 7 things he needs. I don't know, we could just.
Did you guys deal with Marlo's when I was in the bathroom?
Yes.
You passed that? Okay.
With the low bids, with Sharp and Nealon.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Lance.
Our Lance, Brian, and
Trying to wear you down, Brian. Wear you down.
we're setting records here, so.
Good afternoon. Thank
Good afternoon.
you for the opportunity. I just wanted to introduce our new elementary principal, Mrs. Kropa.
Hi.
So,
Thank you.
just a few things that I need to have in my report, but there's also this that's participation, a school board resolution to participate in the high school activities association.
Okay, I need to sign it. Right.
Here you are, Chairman. Just a few things with the CRSSA funds. We have some projects going right now. We just finished the concrete on the basketball court down there. They'll be putting the hoops in next week. And so,
Real quick, Lance.
Yeah.
This is a resolution, so I'd entertain a resolution for me to authorize to sign this for the membership for the South Dakota High School Activity Association.
Second.
All at once. Motion by John, second by Donovan. Any discussion? Call for the vote. Donovan? John? Stephanie? Mark? Motion carries 5-4-0 against, none not voting. Go ahead, continue, Lance.
So yeah, we have that going on down there, looking at some other projects to try to get going, elementary school playground. Part of the problem with that project is they also are looking to tear those portables out behind the elementary school, so
Let me make a copy of that.
kind of one of those deals where you have to wait for those to get removed before you can do the other, because I'm sure they'll tear through that chain link fence once they start.
Oh, that's okay. I just need.
Kind of hoping that that'll happen soon. So with the idea that we'll have our elementary playground will be somewhat completed, be an upgrade this summer, but then maybe in the fall we can finish it. So that's my goal, kind of depending on weather probably. Shakopee grant, we received another $108,333 from them.
Awesome.
And so we're kind of back on track with that. That money we received so far will more than pay for the two things, which would the gym bleachers and the stadium bleachers, and leaving some money left over. So I would recommend that we proceed with the lighting of the football field, which was written into that grant. I'm sending them an update on the grant, so I anticipate they'll send us the other $54,000 soon. And then I think we'll have enough money left over after that, especially with the bids I got today, and I'm gonna share those with you. That we would be able to put in an irrigation system on the football field possibly. And I made a new copy of this. I had it in your packet, but I did get another bid for the lighting project from Guest Electric. They were a little late coming in on the bid, but they're quite a bit more reasonable. West Central's gonna put the light poles in for us, which is a neat thing. And then Guest came in at $44,650 versus the other bids.
Are they metal poles or are they wood?
Wood.
What?
I talked to Larry quite a bit about it. His concern, he says those metal poles are too high in the air. And with
They're
it,
awful thin. The diameter wasn't very good for one.
and the gentlemen that do these lights say now with these LEDs, they don't have to be near as high as they used to have to be.
Yeah.
So this would be LED lights on the 4 poles on the football field. And then we would put an additional light over by the basketball court and the garden.
Almost $30,000 difference, yeah.
So my recommendation would be to move forward with Guest Electric.
Okay, do you want to do all your
Yeah, you want me to?
bids back to back?
I can certainly do.
Or you want us just to do where we can add that on there just to go with Lance's recommendations on the packets here for all the bids that he has in bold? Or you want to do them separately?
I think you have to do them separately in order to keep track of them. Should they pull them in an audit? And that way it'll
Johnny out first.
We have the lights.
I'll make that into a motion.
Yes, do you need that?
I got it.
Sorry, she didn't get one.
Here's the extra one over here. There's 2 of them, Lance.
Okay.
I'll second Cody's motion on the purchase of stadium lighting.
From Guest Electric?
Yep.
Okay, got a motion by,
As long as they don't come back and try to admit that they lowballed it.
I got one question.
yes,
Difference between Musco Sport at 275,000, Guest Electric 44. What's up?
It's hard to get quotes, and so we called a company that does some of these bigger school lighting projects, and they just threw a number out.
the different sets of lights and
Probably
size.
didn't want it anyway.
Yeah, that's all I got.
So motion by Cody, second by Stephanie. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. Donovan? John? Stephanie?
Four.
Mark? Cody? Motion carries 5-4-0 against none not voting.
And I'll just go through these bids then. You want me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then we went out for bids on computers, and the first bid that you got, I'm looking at the one that says CDWG 51,933, is that, yeah?
Yep.
And so we went out for bids on K8 computers. This is what they look like. We're going with an iPad with a keyboard built in. Pretty handy case with it. And so you'll see the CDWG is the cheapest of the three. And we've used them as a vendor in the past.
Entertain a motion to go with the
Make a
low bid.
motion.
You make that motion, Cody?
Yes.
Motion by
Russ
Cody,
is moving, I'll second that.
second by John. Any discussion, anyone? Call for the vote, Donovan.
Four.
John?
We're
Stephanie?
tired, Brian.
Yeah, I
Motion carries 5-4-0 against the
know.
now.
He wore us house down.
Then the next bid we got is that's this one that says 6,530. The Mac Doctors is a little bit cheaper, but the problem with Mac Doctors out of Sioux Falls is they can't get the computers for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, what?
They can't get the computers for 6 to 8 weeks, where CDWG can have them to us in probably 2 weeks. And I guess I would recommend that we just continue to go with,
Make a motion to go to CDW-G.
because of
Motion by Cody,
availability. Is
Second, Mr. Russell's motion.
by John. Any discussion, anyone? Call for the vote. John? Mark? Cody, motion carries 5-4-0 against the not voting. Yeah, cause school's only what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks away?
It's not too far off, yeah.
Yes, right, or
19th, yeah.
19th?
Yeah. The next one is the laptops for the teachers. Since we're getting all these Mac platform across K to 8, it's much easier for the teachers to use Mac laptops rather than a PC. So again, the same issue. Mac Doctors is a little bit cheaper, but the problem is timing. And if you go with a PC computer now, you're talking 4 to 6 months versus a Mac. So I would recommend that we go with the one that's gonna get here the soonest.
Make a motion to that.
Got a motion by Cody, second by Stephanie. Any discussion, anyone?
Good.
Call the motion, or call for the vote. Donovan? John? Stephanie? Mark? Cody? Motion carries 5-4-0 against the not voting.
The next one is the rugged folio iPad case, which is the one I showed you here. This is quite a bit cheaper for Mac Doctors, so I would recommend we use them. They have these in stock. They can get them to us in relatively short order, so.
Make a motion.
Got a motion by Cody. Second by Marvin. Any discussion, anyone? Call for the vote. Donovan? John? Stephanie? Marv? Cody? Motion carries 5-4-0 against the not voting.
And all this stuff, just to kind of reiterate the importance that all this is in the CRRSA budget. So, and this spending is far less than what we budgeted, so. The next one is classroom projectors and whiteboards. This, basically, when we finish this part here, every classroom from SPED all the way through grade levels, content areas, everyone will have a projector in their classroom. At this point, we have a lot of them already, but this 26,000 will take us to that everybody will have.
How many is that gonna buy?
10.
I'll make that into a motion.
A motion by Cody. Second by John. Any discussion, anyone? Donovan, call for the vote. Motion carries 5-4-0 against the not voting.
The final bid that you have in front of you is for some printers, copiers, and we have all this detailed information from the vendors. I don't know, I didn't make copies for everybody, but
I'll move.
Second.
Motion by John, second by Cody.
somebody we work with.
Give him a chance to
We're
work.
a team.
Any discussion, anyone? Call for the vote. Donovan.
In there, Lance.
Marv? Cody? Motion carries 5-4-0 against the not voting.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your support on that.
Thank you. Sorry for the way.
Textbook one?
Oh,
Is that one after?
I might have had
There you go.
it stuck together, sorry.
Was stuck, hold on.
Cengage, is that it?
You've been looking at it.
There's only one bid.
Is it right behind?
It's a specific curriculum with discovery, learning,
Okay.
and it's a sole source.
Motion by John, second by Tony. Discussion, anyone? Call for the vote, Donovan? John?
Or,
Stephanie? Marv? Cody? Motion carries 5-4, against, none not voting.
Just quick briefly on some other grants, we're finishing up the 35,000 on the USDA grant. That next round of grant for that will come out in September for another 100,000, which we'll write for, which will be for kitchen equipment and farm to school. CDC grant, we have that 50,000's been awarded. We're just trying to figure out how to get it to drop. With Sonia and the CDC on that right now. Hopefully we'll have that figured out by the end of the week. We did get our Kia money this last week. COPS grant, we just submitted for 500,000. And then the ARP funding, which is the American Rescue Plan that I think Chairman Estes had sent that forward to us. We did write for that, and that's guaranteed to tribes that have interest. And we wrote for $93,000. And that's a non-competitive grant, so if you put forth an interest, you get money. Depending on how many people put in, they're gonna split $1 billion amongst all the tribes in the United States. So we're hopeful that we'll get somewhere close to what we wrote for. Just some deferred maintenance stuff at the high school. If you've driven by there recently, they're tearing out all the concrete. They're starting to replace that. They're going to be putting the new doors into the gym area. Removal of the portables is something we're hoping to have happen soon. And then next month, I'll bring forward the ARPA funds, which is that $3.5 million. The BIE is pressuring me to get a budget into them. It's a little difficult, I don't know what we'll do with that, and there's no sunset on the money, so I don't know why we need to get it in so quickly, but broadband, I think I've kept you informed that there's been some changes there. So far, that's gone, I think, pretty well. It's going to save the tribe considerable money, and I put that sheet attached there, shows kind of the breakdown.
Yeah.
And then we do have some positions that are still open, and we're receiving applications. We haven't received any teacher applications, unfortunately. We're beating the bushes for that, but we're, like I told the chairman the other day when I visited, that we're 2 classes short, so it doesn't necessarily warrant a full teacher. We can kind of maneuver some things around and make it work, but if we could find one, we would probably hire them.
you have to have a teaching certificate?
Well, in the secondary, that's a good question. Secondary, if you have a degree, you can actually have them praxis test and they can get an alternative certificate. In the elementary school, it's a little more challenging because they have to actually go back and get the teaching component for elementary ed. But in the secondary ed, if they have like a degree in nursing, we can kind of cross-reference them into alternative certificate, and they can take praxis tests and get certified in other content areas as well. So a couple other quick things I had. One was, this is another handout I'll throw out there to you. I would like to get permission from the council to surplus this equipment. This is some shop equipment we have. We're trying to make room in the shop for that screen print business that we're trying to set up, and we have the equipment that's rolled in after you approved it last month. But we have a lot of really heavy duty equipment that's not being utilized, like industrial bandsaws, things like that, that we think we could sell for a pretty good value. I think if you were to sell it on eBay, you're probably gonna get more money for it than you would if you sold it locally. So I guess with the tribal council's permission, I would like to be able to set up some type of account that we can keep track and be very transparent with the paperwork.
Sounds good. Entertain a motion to approve that. Got a motion by Donovan, second by Cody. Any discussion, anyone? Call for the vote, Donovan? John?
Four.
Motion carries 5-4, against and not vote.
And I think.
Hell, it's gonna cost you more to ship a lot of that stuff than what it's gonna get for it.
Well, we're gonna see, you know, I just know here locally, we're not gonna get a lot, and I think some of that stuff's very expensive. If you, we looked up all these prices off eBay for their value, and that's what they're going for on eBay, so. And if we're successful with that, we have a couple buses that we probably need to kind of get rid of in our fleet. That might be another way to try to sell those too, because selling them locally, you're getting.
Cody needs one for the fun bus to be reactivated.
Oh, it's Hawaii, Lance.
I know.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Top off again.
Driving around in the rain.
Get ready for fair time, buddy, real hell.
Thank you for your time. That's all I had, unless you
you, Lance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your patience.
We're working with, just one other thing I want to keep you updated on is we're working very closely with Christine and Kim on vaccinations. Go into the fall. I'm really hoping that we're going to try to come up with some incentives to get kids to get vaccinated. And one of those would be to hand out some gear, reward the kids that already got it, some Brule gear.
How old do you have to
Do you
be?
have to get parental permission to get it then?
Yeah, if they're under age 18, they do.
How much? Under 18?
12 to 18, they can get it, but they need to have parent permission if they're not 18 years old. All right, next month we'll bring you some other things, so thank you.
Thank you, Lance.